Welcome back. We have Manpreet joining us once again from CA Immigration Solutions. She is an immigration consultant there. It's great to have you back on the show.
Well, it's always lovely to be on this show.
And we're glad you made it in time because I know you're busy this morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
We're talking today, in fact, because it's graduating time, we're talking a little bit about students today.
Yes. Well, first of all, I would like to congratulate all the students who have recently graduated and, you know, they've made their way up till this point and they're graduating in Canada, getting their degrees. Many congratulations to them. Now, taking this forward comes to the international students who has recently graduated. They have many options now which they can explore to stay in country and on a work permit, on permanent residency. So my advice to them in this situation is, if they study 2 years, they get 3 years work permit, and if they study 1 year, they get 1 year work permit. So they should start planning for their permanent residency already. It just sounds a lot of time initially that, oh, I'm gonna stay 3 years on a work permit, so I'll think about it down the line. But it's never too early to plan on this because they need to, depending upon their situation, you know, they can target various programs available in provinces, especially in BC, the BC PNP, that is a provincial nominee program of British Columbia. And then they can directly apply to the federal programs, the federal skilled worker, Canadian experience class. So depending upon where they fit, you know, these options can be different and it can take them some time to prepare for it, to find the correct job, the right employer. And, you know, in certain programs of immigration, they might have to work certain time before they can even apply. And also, it is very crucial for them to understand that when can they apply work permit, what are the requirements, and when can they actually proceed to apply for PR. Sometimes they have to work 1 year in Canada before they can even apply to the permanent residency. And that's not true. That's not true in all cases. It really depends what they have studied back home in their country, what's their English level, are they here with their spouses, what's the spouse's education, what's their English level. A lot of international students who are married or in common laws, they have their spouses here on an open work permit. So, you know, that could also be an option if their spouses has already worked 1 year, 2 year in Canada in a skilled category. So there are many options, not just that they get work permit, work 1 year and then apply permanent residency. There are many options that they can explore even before 1 year.
I know there's many variables that go into determining how quickly you can get your permanent residency. What is the shortest amount of wait time you've heard of compared to the longest, and what you should factor in if it's going to be quite long?
Okay, so now there are two things in the waiting time. One is waiting to apply, and second is waiting after applying. So waiting to apply really depends which program you choose. As I said, the British Columbia Provincial Nominee Program has a special category for the students where they can apply the next day when they get the work permit, literally the next day. If they have a job offer from a BC employer who's ready to support them, sometimes it's easier because they're already working part-time during study with the BC employer who's ready to support them with a full-time job offer in a skilled occupation. Now, waiting after applying, also it depends on the category. If you're applying going through provincial nominee program and you do not have 1 year of experience, the waiting could be a bit longer. Versus if you're going to the federal programs and have 1 year of experience, the waiting could be a bit shorter. But honestly, I always tell my clients, waiting before applying could be risky, and waiting after applying is not that risky.
So get it done.
Yes, because when they apply, for an example, a client applies today and something changes in September, it's not going to affect him or her. Versus whoever is waiting to apply after 1 year of experience, it might be faster in PR, but the trouble is they're at the risk. Risk of the laws might change, they might not be eligible anymore. So that's why I really encourage the international students that as soon as they have their work permit, or even if they're graduating and stuff, they should contact a professional. Not necessarily me, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that it's an advice. It's very important. If they're planning to settle permanently in Canada, this can be this can sound very simple sometimes. Just work 1 year and apply PR or permanent residency, if I say. But when it really comes to the paperwork and all the criterias that they need to meet, and all the criterias that their employer need to meet where they're working, what kind of letters they should write, what should be the content in the letter. It's not only just an experience letter saying, hey, he or she worked here for 1 year. It has to meet the standards of immigration, the components that they want to see in a letter. So all these things. So these can take time, and also every job is not eligible. Each and every job, each and every employer is not eligible. So they need to plan this really ahead. Like even before looking for a full-time job, they should consult somebody, find which jobs are eligible. They should just look for those jobs if they are planning this. If they're just planning a career, that's a different story. But if they're planning to get a work permit, settle permanently in Canada, and also for work permit, before there were only like 3 months time that Immigration Canada gives to an international student to apply for a work permit after graduating. But now they are giving 180 days, so which is like 6 months. And no study permit validity required. Before, they need to have a valid study permit.
We are very, very much out of time, unfortunately. There's a lot to know here, but I so appreciate you being here today, Manpreet. Want to let people know they can certainly go to the website, and they can also make the phone call if you have questions. There are a lot of questions to be asked and a lot of answers available. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.